Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmanandaji Maharaj, to the Divine Mother, and all sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. We are currently covering the Holy Scripture, Mysticism of Devi Mahatmaya, worship of God as Mother. And today we will be covering the mystic meaning. Commentary is by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji, and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So we have been covering over the last 2 days the story of Mahishasura and how he was killed by the goddess Maha Lakshmi. So let us discuss the mystic meaning. The fight between the gods and the demons is symbolic of the fight between the divine and the demoniac forces that operate in every human being. So these stories that we read in the Bhagavatam Puranas and the scriptures are allegorical. Do not consider them as historical facts, but rather go after the mystical meaning that helps us evolve. Fear, anger, pride, lust, hatred, and all these other vices are the demons within every human being. Each of us has these problems. And fearlessness, purity, humility, cosmic love, non-violence, contentment, serenity, and other virtues are the gods. So within the same human body, we have both of these elements, the demons and the gods. In the previous chapter, we described the destruction of Madhu and Kaitaba, symbolic of the destruction of the Mala. Mala means gross impurities in the form of likes and dislikes, raga dvesha, and their numerous ramifications. We had covered how goddess Durga had killed them. As yet, the subtle roots of raga and dvesha have not been destroyed. So, there were still traces left that goddess Mahalakshmi will handle. Naturally, an aspirant developed a great degree of vairagya or dispassion. However, he must strive to overcome the subtler impurities of his heart. So, this journey goes in spirals. It is not so easy to destroy these demons. So, although the demons were destroyed, their subtle traces were not, and those are called subtle vasanas that have to be also handled. Mahishasura, in the form of the buffalo, symbolizes the Vikshep Shakti. Vikshep is the distraction caused by the subtle desires of the unconscious. So Durga Devi handled the gross aspect, Mahalakshmi Devi will handle the subtle aspect, distractions. So what happens is that these distractions, they keep the mind agitated. Consequently, the soul is unable to discover its essential nature, which is the self. Further, when Vikshepa Shakti is destroyed, the personality of the aspirant is decked with divine virtues or Daivi Sampat. So, that is the mystical meaning that automatically the fragrance emanates forward, such as fearlessness, contentment, purity of heart, inner peace, cheerfulness, humility, compassion, and others. So these are all the qualities we all know and admire, and we want them to be revealed. And yet these demons of anger, greed, lust, etc. hold it back. So when those demons are destroyed, these gods, these good qualities start to spread their fragrance. Thus, goddess Lakshmi, having destroyed the distractions of the mind, confers upon the aspirant the priceless treasures of divine wealth. Mahishasura, Chikshura, Chamara, Udgara, and all these generals of the demoniac forces are the forces of Rajas. Rajas means passion and restless activity. They represent Vikshepa or distraction, Avarana or veiling, Darpa or conceit, fear, hypocrisy, sense indulgence, greed, infatuation, and other vices. So, in other words, all these demons, as we have discussed, are negative qualities that need to be eradicated by fighting with them with patience over a long period of time. The destruction of the formation of Devi is most significant. sorry, the description of the formation of Devi, how the different gods, how they gave their powers to the Devi and how she was formed. So Devi is the underlying energy of all the gods. So she represents every positive feeling. And without the goddess, the gods have no power and cannot act. Remember, they were helpless and they all came to Shiva and Vishnu, and through each of the gods, the weapons came out and Devi was created. Therefore, the goddess appeared from the bodies of all the gods. The second knot of the heart is known as Kama Granthi. So remember, we have discussed in our previous satsangs that there are three knots: Karma Granthi, Kama Granthi, Avidya Granthi. So there are three knots that are tied within us, and we have to open each of them to expand our spiritual consciousness. So Durga Devi, when she destroyed Madhu and Kaitaba, she had destroyed the Karma Granthi. Now goddess Maha Lakshmi is opening up the Kama Granthi, the knot of desire. It causes distraction of mind, desires, they agitate us, veiling of the true vision and perversion of one's understanding. So that's what we get. We get stuck with the true without it we don't understand the true vision, and our understanding gets perverted. With the destruction of Mahishasura, however, the granthi or knot is destroyed. So that is the obstacle at the heart center. The destruction of Rajas in the form of Mahishasura symbolizes the realization of the chit aspect of the self. According to Tantra or Kundalini Yoga, the Granthi or knot is known as Vishnu Granthi, and it is located in the Anahata Chakra at the heart region. So Brahma Granthi is at the Manipur Chakra within us at the navel center, then Vishnu Granthi is at the heart center, and Shiv Granthi is at the forehead center, and that is Jnana Shakti. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv, Karma Granthi, Kama Granthi, Avidya Granthi, lack of knowledge. So basically, these three knots are being opened up mystically in this beautiful scripture of Devi Mahatmya. So, as we have said, the army of Mahishasura represents the forces of Rajas or passion and is the cause of externalization of the mind. So, the minute we get passionate, we get colored by the world and we want to enjoy the objects of the world, and the illusion takes over. So, when Rajas is destroyed, the subtle desires that distract the mind are destroyed also. Consequently, one becomes free from the attachments of the worldly objects. So, just like throwing a pebble in a lake, in a calm lake, there is agitation. Much in the same way, we get agitated by the world, but once that lake is calm again, we are back to our original peaceful state. So the path becomes clear, the breeze of higher feeling blows gently, the ether of the heart is illumined. No matter how far one may wander in the forest of the world process, one is never far away from the Divine Mother. She is always lovingly aware of our needs and taking care of us. One is ever enfolded in her arms. So we conclude this Maha Lakshmi session today, and tomorrow we will continue with the glory of Maha Lakshmi. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.